Good morning. Welcome to the dedication of the North Carolina Air National Guard Memorial Monument and Mall. The dedication of this very special site is the fulfillment of a dream and the culmination of a lot of planning and hard work that began 14 years ago. The purpose of this mall is to serve as a lasting and visible memorial to the men and women who have died either as active members or retired members of the North Carolina Air National Guard. As long as this monument stands, their names, their lives, their contributions to the North Carolina Air National Guard, and their years of faithful service will never be forgotten. And now, as we begin this dedication ceremony, I am pleased to present to you the Commander of the North Carolina Air National Guard, Brigadier General Fisk Outwater.
What a glorious day, and what a wonderful time to be a member of the North Carolina Air National Guard family. This ceremony today is about all of us, but really there are two special groups that this monument is especially dedicated to. First, of course, are our friends, the members of this unit, our loved ones, our compatriots, whose names appear on this monument, and who have set us on that path toward excellence through the years. But next, there's their families. And aren't they all one? Because the family members are much a part of this unit, as are the patriots whose names appear here. It is a fitting time for all of us, and as we welcome the families, and we certainly do today, I hope you will carry with you a memory of a dignified reflection that mirrors in some small way the lifelong dedication and the selfless dedication that these members gave through the years and are continuing to give through their legacy to this unit, and who have defined who we were, who we are, and who we will always be, and that is a family dedicated to the ideals of this nation and to the service of this great country, our state, and our community. So we welcome our families here today, and we're pleased that you're here and you make this event even more special by your presence. And we hope one other thing, and that is that you will come back to visit us often.
No one could be a more fitting choice to be the speaker for this dedication ceremony than retired Chaplain Colonel Philip Tillman. Chaplain Tillman served as chaplain of the North Carolina Air National Guard from 1979 until 1990. I present to you now Chaplain Tillman.
General Rudersel, General Outwater, Chaplain Shackelford, Mrs. Payne, Mrs. Pigg, families and friends and Air Guard colleagues, I'm both humbled and honored to be a part of this solemn occasion. This climactic moment comes after 50 years of noble service to this state and country by the North Carolina Air National Guard. The colorful and proud history of this unit has been and continues to be written by a group of dedicated men and women and their families. Under these spacious skies, in this land of the free, And upon this sacred spot, we have gathered to give thanks, to celebrate, and to hallow the memory of more than 100 special and unique individuals whose names are forever engraved in your hearts and upon the granite of this beautiful monument. Of course, along the way, there will be others added. But today, we respectfully and lovingly remember and honor your parents, spouses, sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, grandparents, and other relatives, and of course our comrades and friends. We remember today, along with you, your loved ones, but also the leaders and members of the North Carolina Air National Guard. Wish to sincerely thank you, the families, for your invaluable contributions to the highly successful first 50 years of history. Had you not shared your loved ones with Air Guard missions here at home and around the globe, this history would have been greatly diminished. You, the families, have truly given so very much, and the Air Guard is so very grateful. The present and retired members of this unit also wish you to know of thoughts and prayers as you continue through your bereavement and grief. From the beginning of biblical as well as non-biblical history, historians have singled out certain places on earth as being hallowed for one reason or another. Most all religions, if not all religions, have their shrines and holy places. Monuments, pillars, and shrines mark the spot where something of importance have taken place in days gone by. And this spot and today's memorial monument can be tracked and traced back 14 years to an initial spark which soon ignited a flame, fanned, guided, and led by members of Chapter 7, along with numerous others. Yesterday's dream is now today's reality. Famed World War II General Douglas MacArthur's last and perhaps most memorable goodbye was to his West Point. Addressing the Corps of Cadets, he took as his text the Academy's motto, duty, honor, country. Speaking without a note, and only as General MacArthur could do, striding back and forth, he closed with a passage that no one who was on Doom will ever forget. And I quote, "The shadows are lengthening for me. The twilight is here. My days of old have vanished tone and tint. They have gone glimmering through the dreams of things that were. The memory is one of wondrous beauty, watered by tears and coached and caressed by the smiles of yesterday. I listened vainly, but with thirsty ear, for the witching melody of faint bugles blowing reveille, or for drums beating the long roll. In my dreams I hear again the crash of guns, the strange, mournful mutter of battlefields. But in the evening of my memory, I always come back to West Point. Always there echoes and re-echoes in my ear, duty, honor, country. 103 brave soldiers of the North Carolina Air National Guard have served their state and their country with distinction. They too have followed the path of duty, honor, and country. These gallant men and women have also crossed the river and answered their final roll call. Likewise, their memory is one of wondrous beauty, watered by tears, coaxed and caressed by smiles of yesterday. On this sacred ground, among family and friends, we salute all of these men and women and pray for God's healing grace to remain with you.
I would now like to call on Mrs. Peggy Payne, wife of our founder and first commander of the North Carolina Air National Guard, and Mrs. June Pigg, wife of Chief Master Sergeant Myron L. Pigg, to unveil our monument. They will be assisted by members of their immediate families.
Master Sergeant Thomas F. Alexander, Jr. First Lieutenant Jack Allen. Chief Master Sergeant George H. Alton. Tech Sergeant Walter L. Baker. Master Sergeant Howard C. Ballard. Tech Sergeant John H. Barger. Captain Ben F. Beckett. Staff Sergeant Kenneth G. Boland. Senior Master Sergeant Marion A. Braswell. Colonel Walter G. Bullington. Colonel William T. Bundy, Jr. Master Sergeant Yates T. Caldwell. Master Sergeant William T. Caton. Tech Sergeant Charles A. Cerny. Colonel Shirley C. Clark. Lieutenant Colonel George M. Cobb, Sr. Airman First Class Robert A. Conway. Master Sergeant Walter E. Cooper. Staff Sergeant William H. Cox. Airman First Class Charles D. Creech.
SEAL Master Sergeant Arnold L. Curtis. Master Sergeant Aaron Deese. Lieutenant Colonel Emerson G. Dickey. Master Sergeant Aaron R. Dorsey. Lieutenant Colonel Edward M. Douglas. Master Sergeant Banks A. Drive. Lieutenant Colonel Michael J. Dugan. Major Henry S. Dutch, Jr., Lieutenant Colonel William B. Elliott, Staff Sergeant Ralph K. Farman, Senior Master Sergeant Howard W. Featherstone, Master Sergeant Sidney J. Fox, Lieutenant Colonel Wade T. Foster, Master Sergeant Sidney J. Foster, Lieutenant Colonel Wade T. Fox, Master Sergeant Benny S. Frick, Lieutenant Colonel Gilbert L. Gaffney, Lieutenant Colonel Charles W. Gallant, Jr., Lieutenant Colonel David E. Graham, Master Sergeant George Graham, Jr., Tech Sergeant Albert D. Higgins, Lieutenant Colonel Charlie M. Haynes,
First Lieutenant Woodrow L. Haynes, Master Sergeant Lloyd T. Hedgepath, Major John D. Helms, Jr., Technical Sergeant Charles F. Henry, Lieutenant Colonel Robert G. Higgins, Lieutenant Colonel Wilton L. Hipp, Sergeant William L. Hipps, Master Sergeant Alvin M. Hope, Staff Sergeant Norris E. Holt, Senior Master Sergeant Billy W. Honeycutt, Major Robert E. Ford, Chief Master Sergeant James E. Horton, Senior Master Sergeant John C. Horton, Senior Master Sergeant Hubert M. Howard, Senior Master Sergeant Samuel C. Ingram, Colonel Sidney L. Jatan, Major Ronald S. Jordan, Master Sergeant Lynn B. Keeter, Airman Ronnie D. Kennerly, Airman First Class Richard G. Layden,
Senior Master Sergeant Gary H. Latham, Master Sergeant James T. Latham, Master Sergeant Franklin B. Martin, Chief Master Sergeant Robert L. McNulty, Senior Master Sergeant Billy J. McFall, Tech Sergeant James H. McMurray, Colonel Thomas C. McNeil, Jr., Senior Master Sergeant Talmadge H. Meacham, Lieutenant Colonel George J. Meldrum, Master Sergeant Harold G. Messer, Sergeant Robert B. Miller, Master Sergeant Gerald F. Mitchell, Sergeant John E. Morgan, Jr., Colonel Kenneth E. Nance, Lieutenant Colonel Blaine B. Nash, Lieutenant Colonel James H. Nash, Staff Sergeant Frederick E. Owens, Master Sergeant Stephen L. Parton, Airman First Class Mark N. Hawk, First Lieutenant Hildreth L. Payne, Jr.
Brigadier General William J. Payne, Chief Master Sergeant Myron L. Pigg, Airman First Class Matthew S. Porter, Senior Airman Stephen G. Pryor, Senior Master Sergeant George M. Redwine, Chief Master Sergeant Reggie B. Russell, Lieutenant Colonel John A. Scott, Technical Sergeant Robert J. Selden, Lieutenant Colonel Lawrence V. Sin, Master Sergeant Carl B. Sloan, Master Sergeant Edward L. Smith, Senior Master Sergeant Donald J. Stewart, Senior Master Sergeant Herbert L. Strange, Master Sergeant Charles W. Somerville, Chief Master Sergeant Richard B. Somerville, Major John W. Thompson, Technical Sergeant Hoyle D. Treese, Sergeant Ernest C. Webb, Master Sergeant Billy L. Wadington, Staff Sergeant Earl A. Wheeler, Senior Master Sergeant William H. Williamson, Master Sergeant Warren L. Woodrow, Lieutenant Colonel George O. Wright, Jr.
This memorial monument and mall that we've dedicated here today will always be a very special place. Not because there's anything inherently special about a structure of granite and steel, but because there is something very special about remembering people. People who have touched our lives and will always be a part of who we are. This monument is our way of saying to these men and women whose names were read a few moments ago, well done, thou good and faithful servant. As we conclude this dedication ceremony, I want to invite our families and friends and special guests to remain for the reception. Stay a while and enjoy your day here with old friends, and come back as often as you can to visit us, because you are a very important part of the North Carolina Air National Guard family. Would you now please stand as we conclude with our benediction? O God, who blesses us in life, O God, who preserves us in death, thank you for cherished memories of loved ones that will always linger within our hearts. Grant us now the joy of celebrating their lives and the peace that can be found only in your promises of life eternal. And now the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace, now and forevermore. Amen.